what has you in West Belfast today?
Well, why wouldn't I be in West Belfast? It's part of the constituency that I represent, and I've spent the last year going about a number of constituencies engaging with groups and organisations who haven't had the opportunity to avail of the kind of knowledge that I'm able to get out of Europe and to give to them. And given the disconnection that there is between Europe and I think areas like West Belfast and Uri and Ardglass and Armagh and Omagh and a ream of areas that I have been in, we can see that a number of groups and organisations are feeling very disconnected from the work that's going on in Europe, and yet many of them will tell you about the funding that they've been able to secure or the frustration that they have felt in attempts of trying to secure funding. And some of it is because they haven't been able to at least be navigated into Europe in an easier way, because yes, without doubt, it can be complicated and it can be bureaucratic, but it's no more complicated and bureaucratic for anyone else or everywhere else than what it is for the North. And therefore my responsibility is to ensure and encourage people, look, we've got a can-do attitude, but not only that, we have got not just as much brain power, but I would say more than what there is elsewhere. But unfortunately we aren't good at drawing down funding. So what I want to do is explain to groups and organisations what's available, and it's good for me to come out and get an experience and see what groups have been able to do with limited amounts of funding that they've been able to secure. Across West Belfast, I think it's an example of Republicans having their fingerprints all over a number of opportunities and facilities that have emerged, not just from funding from Europe and elsewhere. And one of the sites I visited today was in Dunville, and I just was gobsmacked after coming from an Institute of Public Health where we had a meeting this morning we were talking about tobacco, we were talking about alcohol, we were talking about obesity, and one of the things that they had said about young children and young people not having access to the kind of exercise that is required. And then I'm faced with what's called an outdoor gym. And it was great, even myself and Fran McCann, to get on and to get a go at the facility that is there. And it's good fun, but not just that. The park itself is buzzing. The area is buzzing, and Fran McCann is so proud to have played a part, and why wouldn't he, in bringing that about. After that, we had an excellent conversation in Ardmona Day Centre, and many of the things that they were talking about, for instance, domiciliary care. And they were looking at the whole transforming your care, as it's called, and all the buzzwords that are out there at the moment about care in the community and older people. And, they were having concern about residential care homes closing. And yet what they are saying is, look, we are providing facilities here, we're providing a service in this community, and we are not getting supported by the health department. We are not getting the support that is needed in order to ensure that transforming its care, whenever that comes into practice, that's going to have an impact on our community, and we have to make sure that our older people and our vulnerable people are looked after, and they provide an excellent service. And I want to do what I can to assist them to hook up with the kind of people that is required in the developing social change or delivering social change that the executive is involved in, but also where they should be getting European Social Fund, because one of the things that they need, for instance, access to is funding for training, so that they can build the capacity and so that they can deliver the quality of the service is very, very important for them, and I'm going to assist them in the time ahead. Today I came here as one of the other meetings, and I must say this is just one of the biggest allotments that I've ever been in, and I was told then it is actually the biggest allotment in the north, and it doesn't surprise me, and it really, really is impressive. I even got to eat a bit of sweet corn, which was absolutely delicious. But to see a facility like this, and to see once again that this has been secured from Piece 3 funding. They also have got the funding secured for Piece 3, and I'll be able to work with them if they have any hiccups with the SEUPB. They need the Minister for the Environment. They need him to make a decision on the phase 2. Jennifer McCann's going to be an asset to them, because she's going to put pressure on the Minister to make the decisions so that they can get that facility started and get the ball rolling, and making sure that they can extend what they have here is one of the biggest allotments, they're saying, in the north and indeed Ireland. And I think when the time they're finished, they're going to have the biggest allotment in Europe, and fair play to them, and the community is getting an excellent opportunity to grow their own vegetables, and it's really actually landing on their own plates. And of course, people wouldn't be surprised, as someone who's come out of a campaign and drove a campaign in Derry about standing up for Derry. My job really now as an MEP is to stand up for you, and that's what I do. That's what I do best. I actually come and I listen and I learn from those who have the expertise and the facilities and see what is happening here, and I listen to those who are driving these kind of projects forward, and then when they need assistance, when they need help, I am there for them to help them find out what kind of funding programs that there are in Europe and make sure that they can get access to the support that they need. And I will stand up for the people of the North with pride in Europe, and I will do it in a way, I'm not over there to become some kind of an expert myself in any kind of field or one strand or another. I'm there to represent the people of across the 6 counties, and I will do that to the best of my ability. And it's an honour and a privilege to be back in West Belfast, and I'll be back again, as I will be back in a number of constituencies throughout this year.